Hello, everybody. Welcome
It's
to.
been a while, people!
It's been a long time.
I just heard the unsubscribe button right now.
Welcome to another episode of Burgers and Fries Game Talk with a Shake. It has been
To make it quick, it's TT, Sadet, and two other people.
Tony, Sadet The Hyper Lamia. We got Amiga 1200, and Desert Cody 22. Desert Cody 22 was in the previous episode when we talked about Metal Gear Solid and all that stuff. So it was. It's been a long time. Last time I made one was episode 16. That was 5 months ago. 5 months ago since we made one. I know people were wondering when we're going to make this at that road now.
Long story short, reason why we haven't made anything is because life happened.
And Tony lost his train of thought.
Yeah, well, I'm just way past bitch talking. But this is episode 17 of Burger and Fries Game Talk with a Shake. And yeah, let's get started here. We're going to be talking about a bit, and just before I get started here, the 200th episode is still being in works. Like I mentioned, I'm working on it with a YouTuber. In fact, just to give a little more advice, a little more information about it.
Work faster!
Desert Cody 22 is the guy I'm working on the 200th episode with. That's all I'm going to tell you. Your only hint is the word metal, so no spoilers here. It's metal. That's the name of that's a part of the game
really?
title.
Metal? That
Metal.
means it could be like Metal Gear or Metal Slug.
It could be
something really solid. Man, metal.
Something. Could be Twisted Metal, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Arms on the PS2, or it could be Metal Slug.
Well, if people listen to the previous podcast on why I was on that podcast, maybe they already figured it out.
Well, could be something else
Or
too.
maybe TT's just pulling one on us.
Maybe
and
I
it's
am.
something that has metal in the name, but we are completely unaware of what the full name is because he has played a really obscure game.
You know me. You know me.
Which is a possibility. But we are so getting off track as we usually do.
We just had to put it out there, but today's topic is our favorite female video game protagonists, and me and Anthony, aka JK22, came up with this idea along with a couple other titles for podcast stuff. We decided, okay, it's a good time to make it on this because what female protagonists are awesome. I like playing as female characters more than playing as male characters in video games. It's something I've liked since I was 10 years old. Actually, 9 or 10 years old. I remember the story really well. The very first time I got into male video game protagonists was. It wasn't from playing Tomb Raider 2. No, it wasn't Tomb Raider. Even though I liked it. Tomb Raider's not giving me the female protagonist.
Yeah, there's probably a reason why you like Tomb Raider 2.
Well, it was one of the first PS1 games I got and stuff like that. So that's
one reason I can think of two reasons: Boob 1 and Boob 2.
But yeah, like I mentioned, the story for case people don't know, playing Tekken 2 in the arcade at the roller hockey arena my brother played at is what got me to play female characters. Because like I picked the character Kunimitsu because I thought she was a guy because she had that mask on and stuff. But and I realized that I thought she was like some human looking mouse or something like that. But it's just like a white cat mask. And I played as her, not knowing she was a girl, and see how powerful she was got me into that stuff. And then I started branching out to playing as like Michelle Chang and Nina Williams and playing like Ling Xiaoyu and and want to get into more characters like that, playing as Ayumi Stewart from Wafer 64, and also playing as Vela from Jet Force Gemini, one of my favorite female protagonists of all time, favorite female characters of all time, and Joanna Dark, and Sophia from Radical Bikers, and Gina from Crazy Taxi. But I have a lot of favorites here, a lot of modern ones, a lot of like retro ones like that, like a lot of all over the place, a lot of them are pretty much all over the place, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, I've got a few female characters, not as extensive, but then maybe it's because I'm a bit of a fucking pervert. Okay, I'll list them. The first one you can see on my avatar in pink hair. She's called I Know Heart, and she's from the Arcana Heart Arcade PS2 beat-em-up series.
I've heard of the
I
series.
think one of those games have gotten on Steam.
Arcana Heart? Yeah, I didn't really care for Arcana Heart too much. I wasn't big into 2D5. I have played it. It was like one of the first all-female fighting games there.
Yeah, it is. Got two for the PlayStation 2 Japanese import and Arcana Heart 3 for PS3 and 360. Same game,
And I
basically.
believe the one that says Max is on Steam.
Oh, love Max.
Yeah. Arcana
Yeah.
Heart 3 Love Max also on the PS3 also.
I haven't played that. As I understand it, it's a lot more R-rated than the ones that are up for public grabs normally. But that aside, yeah, so I know Heart for that series because she fights a lot like Ken from Street Fighter as well. Sakura, she's a good copy of her. Then the second one is my profile, is Hatsune Miku. Don't know why, but I've always got to... Go on, sorry.
Vocaloid Lloyd is awesome. Love Vocaloid.
Yeah.
Can never go wrong with the Vocaloids.
Yeah, Meguri and Luca is my favorite Vocaloid, next to Kagamine Rin.
Yeah, you can actually make your own Vocaloids with the software. A lot of the, you know those fucking creepypasta channels and green text that they put voice to text on? That's Vocaloid. Yeah, so Yamaha Vocaloid rules fucking supreme. I've got a program similar on Amiga 1200 that's pretty, it sounds a lot like Stephen Hawking. Pretty decent, actually. So Hatsune Miku would be my second. Third would be Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 series.
I could just hear any Final Fantasy's fans going boo right now.
Why would they go boo?
Well, they wouldn't know a good game if it ran up to them and crowbarred them in the teeth.
A lot of Final Fantasy fans do not like that game for whatever reason.
It could be worse.
As it was, I mean, I won't deny that, you know, it's fucking flawed in one key area that I thought, you know, that did the rest of the series a disservice, and that is the immersion. You know, when it comes to, say, fighting and field exploration and whatnot, side quests, they're pretty much non-existent versus prior releases. So that's a fair criticism for Level Addict.
But you know what? It's good that there's some really bad games out there. It makes the good games even more better.
Yeah, I suppose, but it kind of doesn't do much for the cost. If you paid out your top dollar for them, it's going to be a kick in the pants.
Yeah, but it, at least, as I said, makes you appreciate the good stuff more.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because if everything was good, then everything would just be meh.
Maybe, yeah, I suppose. Bit like the good and evil dichotomy. Without one, you can't have the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So before I mentioned like the characters that I have, because I got a good list of them and they're all different styles of games. Before I mention my characters, I want actually to mention why do I like to play female video game characters, and I would like all of you guys to say your reasons why to do so too. Okay. So the one reason, especially for practicality reasons, is a lot of the female video game characters are smaller, so they have smaller hitboxes, so they're easier to control, and they're least likely to get hit by the enemy. Some of them have better stats, like some of them are often faster or more well-rounded. But one reason I had, even as far back as when I was a little kid, was I would always get a little bit uncomfortable playing as a dude killing a female, or playing as a dude beating up a woman. Mm-hmm. Like, I would always get that little uncomfortable feeling whenever that would happen. Did anybody else feel the same thing?
Nope.
No.
Because to me it was just a video game.
Yeah.
Okay. It's understandable.
Now, if it was real life, then I'd have issues.
Yeah.
Sure. No, and that I can understand. But there was always, and of course I'll make exceptions. Like if the game is really fucking good, then yeah, I'll do it as the game intends. Like my favorite video game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3, well, the final boss is a woman. Well, I gotta beat the final boss to beat the game. Well, then I'll make the exception.
What about if the female final boss is a character that you really hate? Is that another exception?
Well, and that's a great reason, Sadet, because I remember when you first played through Metal Gear Solid 3, you don't know the actual truth behind the villain's motivation and what really is going on until after you complete the game. So the first time you're like, oh yeah, let's get this bitch for betraying her country and making me, beating me up half the time in the storyline. So yeah, let's get this bitch. But then you find out the real reason why she did what she did, and you're like, oh, now I feel really bad for doing that to her. But so that's a good reason to add Sadet. But so and now, yeah. So Tony could agree with this that if I am given the choice, like let's say you play a role playing game like Fallout, I would often like to be a female because that means if I'm playing as a guy, I don't want to shoot a girl. But if I'm a girl, then I'll gladly shoot other girls. It's weird that way. And another reason is if I'm playing as a character for 60 plus hours in the third person, I'd rather not stare at a man's ass. I'd rather be staring at a woman's ass. But I'm sure, Sadet, you have no problem staring at either asses.
I swing both ways.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah, because like, trying to think of it. If it caused me to talk about like favorite female characters, Dead or Alive is the way to go for sure. My two favorite characters in the Dead or Alive franchise, actually I have more than that, but my top favorite Dead or Alive characters are Hitomi, Helena Douglas, Rachel from Ninja Gaiden, and Marie Rose, Ayane Kasumi and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a figurine of Kasumi.
Yeah.
And a poster, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, the original Xbox game. Got it with the game there up on wall.
Oh, I had Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball Extreme 2, and I do have Extreme 3 Fortune on the PS4. I don't have an Xbox anymore, so I don't have these games.
They're good games, like when you get right into the quote-unquote plot, you're in for a treat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I did review Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune on my YouTube channel, so that was probably one of my highest rated videos, so I'm just saying there. My highest viewed videos as well, I mean.
Does anybody remember the game Pit Fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
It's a really shitty game, right? It was terrible, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I remember the box art of it, and I remember looking at it going, oh, there's this chick in the foreground that's fighting people. Maybe I get to play as her. And all of a sudden, I would rent it, and then I would find out you don't get to play as her. You have to fight her. I'm like, motherfucker, what? So I remember feeling that disappointment. But it's a shitty game.
Yeah, got the Amiga game from floppy disk. I mean, it's an identical port of the arcade as well. Plays just as rough.
Yeah, but again, she's almost front and center on the cabinet because of sex appeal, and she's almost front and center on the box art.
Yeah.
And then you find out you don't get to play as her.
No. It's a bit of a con, is that? I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Mind if I say some of my favorite female characters?
Go ahead.
I would love to hear them.
Well, I love all of the female characters from the Atelier series. All the main girls are, like, really well done.
Oh, right. Atelier RPG.
Like,
Good
every single game, the protagonist is a female except for the, one of the Dusk games, the second Dusk game, Eska and Logi, since you can pick playing as Eska and Logi, or Logi, but there's really no difference, and they're both going to be on your party. So, I love all the female characters from the Atelier series. And another character that I like from a bit of a kind of questionable game because of how she's dressed. I really like Code of Princess, but the main character who is a quote-unquote princess, why is she dressed like a slut?
Yeah, to draw eyes, I would have thought. I mean,
I'm showing some skins, but I'm pretty much putting a picture of her up in the chat here.
Oh, yes. I can get behind that.
Oh, speaking of somebody who looks like that, does anybody remember the game Valis? Mugen Sensei Valis, or Valis the Phantasm Soldier?
No.
Heard of it, but not played it.
That's okay. You can look it up. You can look up the Genesis box art, and then you can kind of see why a 7-year-old me would think, "Whoa, what's with this game?" Because it's a character wearing armor very similar to that on the box art, and then that's your protagonist is Yuko, who wears armor, who's revealing armor, and wielding a sword in a fantasy platform game. So another thing that sparked my interest.
Code of Princess is a hack and slash.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of reminds me of Alicia Dragoon. Same kind of concept. Scantily clad woman. Like, as if the bow and arrows are going to hit anything but her armour. But yeah, boom armour and crap armour.
Here, put the Valis box art in the chat. You can see what I mean.
Oh yes. That's in the days when artwork was artwork.
That artwork makes her look more clothed than Solange from Code of Princess.
Well, here's the Japanese artwork. That's the Americanized. Here's the Japanese.
Like Wonder Woman.
Huh?
That Valis looks like Wonder Woman.
Okay, that looks like it's ripped from an anime.
Well, because it was. There was in that game. There were anime cutscenes.
It's coming back to me now.
Cool.
It was I only ever played the Japanese version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's...
But yeah, there are anime cutscenes in each version of the game. So, yeah, there you go. But obviously I saw that box art and thinking, oh, I want to play this. And I had no idea what kind of game it was going to be.
Decent game from what I remember.
It actually is a decent, and it has actually among the best, and that's another topic that I want to go over, but it has one of the best soundtracks ever. Like, something I always remember off the top of my head, just the tunes of it. And we can talk more about video game soundtracks another time. But give it a listen if you get a chance.
We have said in the past, but we can always bring it up again to hear your guys' opinions and such, and there's probably songs that we've missed.
We could.
But anyways, another character...
Right. Go ahead.
Another female character I play as in video games is in Astral Chain, where you can pick of having one of the two siblings be the main character. I always pick the female character. Also, in Astral Chain, you're an officer.
Oh, I remember a character. There's a character.
Astral Chain is really underrated, by the way. It's a hidden gem.
What platform?
I remember that. I can't forget about this one. This was one of my favorite characters in the SSX series. That's my favorite. Elise Riggs, the Canadian girl.
Excuse me?
Elise Riggs, SSX, snowboarding.
Oh, okay. I heard something completely different.
I heard something. I think I heard the same thing you heard too, Sadet, so I get it. Oh, okay. So, you all played Chrono Trigger, right?
Never played it.
I've heard of it, but
Chrono Trigger is one of the best. If you like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger is one of the best role RPGs ever. There's a PlayStation version, Tony. There's also the Super Nintendo version.
There's also a version on Steam.
Right. But there's a portion, there's a spoiler alert, your main character, who's a guy, actually does get killed like 3/4 of the way through the story. So there's a part where you actually have to select your party amongst the other secondary characters and lead the way. But there's 3 of them that are female, Isla, Marl, and Luca. And, of course, those are the 3 that I would pick until I would get Chrono back in my party. But all 3 of them were just, the character design is from Akira Toriyama, who's the same guy who did Dragon Ball. So I remember finding the connection there and being intrigued by the look of that game. And when that happens in the storyline, those are the three that I'm picking. And you can use the three of them. You actually don't have to have your main character in the party again, even after he comes back to life. So you actually could play the final boss as those three characters and have them team up on the final boss.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar. One other, she's pretty obscure. Have you ever heard of the Shadowheart series for PlayStation 2?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's the second game is female protagonist, even though you can play as three separate characters. But you start off with a woman called Karen, a redhead, and she's a fencer working for the German army. Decent series, a decent trilogy. You can find the ROMs online, and like if you've got a decent emulator or a modded PS2, I do recommend those games. They're massively underrated, hardly known of. There was supposed to be a Shadowheart 4 for PS3, but it got shit-canned in development, which is a shame.
Sounds fun. Okay, did you guys like Chun-Li or Cammy in Street Fighter in those days?
Yes, Cammy.
Yeah.
Cammy.
Chun-Li, yes. Cammy, I'm not too familiar with.
Cammy came in the... remember how they kept re-releasing Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
Cammy came in the version called the New Challengers or Super Street Fighter 2.
Yes, she did.
And again, you see Chun-Li, and then all of a sudden you see Cammy, who's in a green leotard. I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, she was working for British Special Forces, and I think Chun-Li was Interpol.
Right. And then played by Kylie Minogue in the movie.
Kylie Minogue plays her?
Yeah.
That's her. If you ever see that movie, that's Kylie Minogue.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite singers.
Yeah,
and now that's her alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah,
and it's even more disturbing / funny when you realize Jean-Claude Van Damme had an affair with Kylie Minogue during the production of that movie, and almost ended his marriage over that. It's true.
Yeah.
He basically saw Kylie Minogue on set with her and was like, yeah, I'm fucking her.
I mean, who can pass up Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Come on, Sadet, you wouldn't pass up Jean-Claude Van Damme. Or Kylie Minogue. You wouldn't pass her up either.
Okay, Kylie, maybe. I wouldn't.
I'd do a sister, Danny Minogue, as well.
There you go. Okay, now Mortal Kombat, Sonya Blade. Always liked her.
Oh, what?
Mortal Kombat!
And again, she was in the first movie, she was played by the chick from Billy Madison.
Yeah.
That was her?
And that was her. And also, she was in Last Action Hero with Arnold.
Oh, nice.
So I always liked playing as Sonya with the first game, and I was actually disappointed when MK2 came out and she wasn't in the game, or she was a captive and prisoner. So you settle for Katana and Melina, who I also liked playing as too. I know I'm going back a long ways, but that's the time I'm from.
Yeah, same here. I'm in the 40s and I've got the two games on Amiga 500.
Back in my time, sexy women were all the rage. On box art.
Also, my friend
Now it's all about the poses and other things. I'm just being dumb here.
I know.
No, of course. Aren't you always?
I'm not always dumb.
So, okay, the most modern female character would be Lily from Tekken 5. I remember when I played that game, gravitating toward using her because I liked her moveset. And then if I remember correctly, Tony, you also like to use Lily.
Yes, I do. In Tekken, yes. Emily DeRockford, Nina Williams, Anna Williams, Julia, yeah.
And I would say my favorite one to use out of all of them comes from Streets of Rage. That's Blaze.
Not Blaze the cat.
Blaze Fielding.
Though Blaze the Cat is kind of hot, literally. Which Blaze is technically a protagonist in Sonic Rush.
Okay.
You can play as her.
Now, this is the Blaze that I'm talking about in the chat.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, her.
Huh, she's hot.
Yeah.
Got a nice fucking...
And in Streets of Rage 2, which is one of the best games ever, she's the most well-rounded of all the stats.
Yeah.
So I would usually play as her, and then yeah, she was in all. She and Axel are the only two that have been in all the Streets of Rage games. So if you get Streets of Rage 4, you can play as her. So what are you digging through the barrels? You're trying to find other characters to list up?
Yes, I am. I already mentioned Elise Riggs from SSX Snowboarding, which
Okay.
I already mentioned that. And there was also trying to think here. There's also Alana from Fighting Force. That's another one I liked, and of course Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. If we're gonna talk about video game characters, we cannot not mention Lara Croft.
This is true.
That is
So,
true.
you know, there is one female protagonist we are forgetting to talk about here.
Which one?
The biggest female protagonist of them all.
Samus Aran?
Yep.
How did I know you were gonna say that one? My guess was Princess Peach or Princess Daisy for some reason.
Well, Princess Peach, unless you're talking Super Mario 2, not really. That doesn't count. But Samus is definitely the one that counts the most because imagine kids in the 80s without the internet not knowing that Samus was a female until you beat the game.
Laura got the best ending, I mean.
That's right.
Actually, to unlock that information, you have to beat the game under a certain time limit.
Yeah. And that game was hard. That was a hard game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Metroid.
But yeah, if we did not bring that up, we'd be getting a lot of flack from a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure we'll still be getting a lot of flack from a lot of people because somebody's going to be like, you missed such and such.
And
that's why they're supposed to leave comments so they can tell us. If they don't leave no comments, then we don't know nothing.
That's why we depend on you guys sometimes. Well, actually, most of the time, because we don't have all the info.
Yeah, it's true. And of course, like another one I'm about to mention is Kate Marsh. Kate Marsh from The Operative No One Lives Forever. That she was like a female James Bond almost. With the cool ass gadgets and everything like that, with her personality thing, yeah, she definitely has to be on the list.
In Super Return of the Jedi, you could play as Leia on some stages.
Yeah, and of course there's also like there's some Star Wars games too that have female protagonists as well, like in Jedi Starfighter stuff. That's a good one to name there.
Well, and it's funny that the original character that they make up for Masters of Terras Kasai is a girl.
Yeah, Arden Lin.
They should have just put in Mara Jade.
They do have Mara Jade in that game as an unlockable character.
That's right.
Wow. Who else can we talk about?
Pain from Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X too.
That's the one.
And
Pain.
Yuna and Riku should be mentioned too because they're cool. Pain was just.
I do like Pain because she's all wrapped up in leather.
Pain's very. I don't like Pain that much. Pain was just very monotone. Just.
Oh yeah. That was the point of her character, that she doesn't say much. She was like really introverted.
And before somebody says it, Aqua from Kingdom Hearts.
Never played Kingdom Hearts, I wouldn't know.
Aqua's the character.
Tell us more about Aqua.
Yeah, blue-haired chick.
I have very little information about Aqua, so don't depend on me.
By the way, speaking of Blaze Fielding, there's a little thing. There's a single frame shot that you could see only in the Japanese version. Here you go.
Oh, what? Is that? Can I see her plants?
You could absolutely see it in the Japanese version.
Nice. Trust the Japanese.
The Japanese version, bare knuckle, you absolutely could see it. And for the American release, they edited it out.
Fucking lightweights.
Hey, if it makes you want to play Streets of Rage 2 or Bare Knuckle 2, that's always a win-win.
And there's also Kairi from Kingdom Hearts. Can't forget her. Because technically she's the main character of that rhythm game.
Space Channel 5?
Oh, ooh la la.
Ooh la la, Space Channel 5.
Yeah, got that for Dreamcast.
Yeah, and PS2.
I haven't played that version yet.
The PS2 version's actually pretty cool.
Though.
PS2 version's actually pretty cool. It's got the second game on it too.
I'm going to have to look for them. Yeah, cheers for the reminder on that.
Oh, that sounds better than the Switch version. Not the Switch. The Steam version.
What's wrong with the Steam version?
You only get one of the games.
Oh. That
Wait,
sucks.
Being the second game.
What, second? Right, okay.
Who's the better Nintendo princess, Peach or Daisy?
Daisy. all the way.
Daisy!
Mm-hmm.
I'll be different and say Peach. No reason.
It's Toadstool, for your information. Or that's how it was when we grew up.
Well, still. What do we call Daisy then? Back in the day.
Daisy's different. Daisy's a different character.
Yeah.
You don't know that, Tony?
I know that. I know
Daisy's
about
the
that.
princess of Sarasaland.
That's right, in the original Super Mario Land.
Yes, I know. I never played Mario Land 1. I only had Mario Land 2.
Well, you should have played Mario Land 1. It is almost as good as 2.
I know that. I'm aware of that.
Oh, is that the Game Boy game you're talking about?
That's right, the Game Boy.
Right. Yeah, I do have my old retail copy of that.
I can't believe I forgot this one. Naomi Hayward from The Good Life. She's a journalist from New York who will go to London to try and get out of debt, and she's got that tough bitch attitude. I can't believe I forgot about her.
You guys are supposed to know more about video game characters than I do. And how are you guys drawing blanks?
We're not drawing blanks.
Because there's so many, it's hard to talk about them all.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest.
Because there's so many, sometimes we forget
True.
about who we've talked about and such. Like, there's a lot of things.
Did any of you play the classic Zelda games when you were young?
Yes.
On Nintendo.
So did any of you think that the character you were playing as was named Zelda until you realized it was Link?
Yeah. I did have to into that trap.
I think all of us who grew up in the 90s have made that mistake. Until Super Smash Bros. Came out.
Yep, it's true. And
What is this Link bullshit? What?
oh, and don't forget Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar is one too that has a lot of female characters like Alice the Rabbit and Jenny the Bat and all of them. And of course also Crystal from Star Fox Adventures.
AKA Nintendo's sex appeal #2 for the furries.
Mm-hmm. And of course I'm just trying to think.
I got nothing against furries, by the way. I'm kind of a mix of a furry and a scaly, considering I'm a lamia.
I know what you mean, yeah.
That's fluffy. Fluff, fluff.
It's each their own, right?
Lamia. Meaning I have scales and fur. Yee!
Oh yeah, I know that. The clip that you just put up, I remember that one.
I laughed my ass off.
Oh come on, it works so hard.
Hey, I'm not the one that got kidnapped by something that goes on a fucking salad.
But about also Nora from Everreach Project Eden, who's kind of like who's pretty much a bunch of space marines that's kind of like Commander Shepard a little bit. And of course you can talk about the female Commander Shepard too. That's not a good one as well. And
Oh, and I just thought of another character. I don't really know much about this one, but Cadence from Crypto the Necrodancer, as well as she appeared in Cadence of Hyrule.
Also Nara from Chorus. That's another good one. Nara from Chorus. There's a flying game that's on the PS4 and PS5 and such. And there's also ooh man, like there's also gonna be Aloy from the Horizon series. I should have mentioned that one. Aloy from the Horizon. I believe I forgot about her. But you guys got anything else to say about
You probably upsetted some fans because you forgot to talk about somebody.
who?
That character that somebody's probably ranting about in the comments right now of how great they are or something that we were totally unaware of.
Well, who could we have forgotten about exactly? Faith from Mirror's Edge? Who?
You do realize I'm just trolling you on this, right?
Miles Gibbs was Nariko from Heavenly Sword. It could have been that too.
Are you actually live streaming this to Tube right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll look it up. Where is it?
When it came to the Pac-Man series, did you like playing the original, or did you like playing Miss Pac-Man?
I like them both.
Yeah, they're the same game practically.
Now, Miss Pac-Man to me is a lot harder than the original.
Not to me. Like, sure, there's differences, but it's not that much harder.
I feel like the power-ups you get initially in Miss Pac-Man are not as long as the power-ups you get in the original.
I noticed that. Really? You noticed that? I didn't really notice it that much.
Well, I had to pick another female character that we had to mention. Otherwise, the people in the comments would say, "Sorry, Tony, I'm unsubscribing from you."
Oh, not very funny.
We're trying to save you, Tony. We're trying to save you.
Thank you.
You're trying to save this podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube now, TTBurger. Under your profile, I'm not seeing a live stream.
Very funny. But yeah, like we pretty much mentioned a lot of the key video game protagonists that we like and stuff like that. I mean,
As well as random female characters from different games.
yeah, we'll probably
Like, not all of them are pro tags.
We'll probably make a part 2 to this here. We'll probably make a part 2, but we'll see about that definitely. But stay tuned because the 200th episode is in the works. It'll be up very shortly. Whenever
And who knows what else we'll come up with?
Yeah, who knows what'll be next. But just to let y'all know, it's gonna be more videos coming, and there'll be more content coming. Which all I gotta say, this is Tony and everyone else. Peace out. Have a good day, and see you all in the next video I make. Then subscribe to these guys too. Take care, everybody.
All right, you too. Good speaking with you all.
Bye!
Bye. See you next time. Bye.